Good morning, everyone. If you're following along with me on the FlyLady cleaning system, this is the 4th week of the month. So we are in zone 4, and I realize this is Friday. It's the end of the week. Right now, you're like, I don't care about zone 4, and I get it. So if you want to do zone 4 next week, that's fine as well. It doesn't really matter what week you do what zone. There's been many times that I've wanted to work in zone 2, which is where I am right now, the kitchen. It's my busiest zone, constantly in here working, cooking, dealing with pets, whatever. So I spend a lot more time doing zone 2 than any of the other zones. So if you want to just flip the zones around, that's fine. There's no, set in stone. You don't have to do it the FlyLady way. You don't have to do it my way. But I did want to give you the FlyLady cleaning schedule for this week. Now, I use The Secret Slob on YouTube. Steph is her name, thesecretslob.com. I use her sheet that I print off from thesecretslob.com blog, okay? And I love her sheet. It's one piece of paper. It meshes everything about FlyLady into one sheet of paper, and it just really works out for me. And listen, even if I only do half of this sheet, half of the things that I've written down, that's fine. It just keeps us motivated, it just keeps us working. Nothing has to be perfect. We don't have to do every single task every single day. We don't have to clean every single day. I see people that are, because the FlyLady says, work 15 minutes in the zone every day. I don't do that, okay? I found a different way to do it. There's another lady called Diane in Denmark, and just watching her on YouTube, she showed me how to just work in the zone for about 30 minutes a week. Now in my kitchen, like I said, it's a busy place, so I'm going to spend a lot more time in my kitchen working than I am in the other zones. But literally, the zone this week is the bedroom, and our bedroom is a refuge for us. We don't do a lot of other stuff in there. Spencer does have some clothes in there, but like my stuff isn't stored in there. We keep it very neat, very tidy. We keep it clean. I run Roomba through there every couple of days because we do have some cats in there that sleep with us. I make sure all the sheets and blankets and everything are washed every week. So that's our refuge. We don't watch TV in there. We don't have a lot of extra stuff in there. So it's not going to take me 3 hours to clean my bedroom. There's no reason to be 15 minutes a day in there doing specific tasks. I can just look at the list and say, okay, this is what needs to be done. I can run through and do it. And I can teach you how to do that as well using this sheet. Also, of course, if you're new to the FlyLady system, you may want to use a timer. That way you know exactly how long 15 minutes is. When it's up, you can quit. Or maybe if you're like me, if I have a couple more things to dust or pick up or something like that, I'll just go ahead and finish. But if you want to just do the 15 minutes and cut it off there, that's great. That keeps you from overworking yourself, wearing yourself out, making yourself get into this perfectionist mindset. This is kind of what we want to get out of it. Our cleaning doesn't have to be perfect. Let's just get pieces of it done, okay? Just every week, just get a little bit done. And as it flows, you see it sort of starts doing itself. Obviously you're still doing it, but as it flows along, you'll go zone to zone and you'll figure out, wow, well, we're back in the den or the living room or the family room. And wow, it's picked up. It's really not that dusty. It's not that dirty. There's not a lot to do in here. So as you go along, you will see that these spaces, each one of these zones gets better and better and better. And if you declutter along with it, if you have cluttered spaces, and I'll just be honest, I do still have clutter. I've tried to declutter and then I got off course and, back and forth. And I do still have clutter. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I don't, because I do. But if you can get some of that up, especially off the floor and the dusting surfaces, you don't have to get rid of everything. But if you can kind of minimize some of it, things will just run faster. Okay, so I'm going to run through the weekly cleaning schedule the way Steph has it laid out on thesecretslob.com. So again, she has her morning and her evening routine, and you just write these in every week, and you can just get your sheet from last week. It should pretty much be the same. You don't need to constantly be changing your morning and evening routine unless those routines are not working for you. If it's not working out for you, then obviously mark through stuff and start, start afresh if you need to do that. But if it's the same as last week, I just look at last week's and I just write it in. Okay. Daily focus. Again, we've talked about the weekly home blessing. I think I did a whole video talking about exactly what that is, and I just focused on that. So you should be able to find that if you're one of my subscribers. I'm not good with technology. I don't know how to link stuff. I don't really know how to do anything except get this uploaded, and even that I have trouble with. I finally figured out how to get a thumbnail picture up there. It took me forever. So I'm just not a tech person. So I'm sure I could make it easier, but I don't really know how yet. Okay, Tuesday is plan and pay, or in FlyLady's actual system, it's plan and play. It's like a play day. I know a lot of us work, or we're at home with children, and even I work, or I'm at home dealing with things, and so I don't really play. I don't really have a play day. I just, if I want to sit down and read a book, I do that, but I don't have like a whole day set aside. So I like to plan and pay. That way, that's my planning day. If I don't have my menu straightened out, I do the menu on Tuesday. I make sure I've got my bills, make sure all the bills have been paid, make sure everything's come out of the account that was supposed to, because we do bill pay. So almost everything's automatic, so I don't really have to sit down and actually do bills. But I do look at those accounts, make sure everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be, because people use computers, and that's how mistakes are made. So don't just necessarily assume everything's going fine. Let's make sure the bills are coming out as they are supposed to. Because if they're not, you need to, get on it, because we don't want late fees, and we don't want to be turned over to collection or anything like that. So let's make sure everything's coming out exactly the way it's supposed to. So that's a great day to do that, plan and pay. Wednesday, anti-procrastination. I've talked about that before. You can make some doctor's appointments if you need to do something for your kids that you've been putting off. If there's something around the house you need to do that you've put off forever. Some of these tasks are only 15-minute tasks. It only takes you a few minutes to make a phone call. If you're like me, you hate phone calls and you just put it off for weeks. I put off this, calling the dentist for weeks. I finally called and made the appointment. And a lot of that was the COVID nonsense. We had to sit in the car and wait. Y'all, I don't understand that. The one I go to, the last time I was there, I was in the waiting room by myself. Why do I just sit in my car and wait? I don't understand all this. I'm not trying to get political or whatever, make people mad, but I don't get that. So I've already been told I got to wear a mask. I got to, into the dentist, which he's got to look at my teeth. It has to come off. But I got to, wait in my car. I have to this. It's just like, to answer all these questions, it's just, I'm over it, okay? I'm not trying to be rude or ugly. I'm just over it. And if you know me at all, if you're on Facebook with me, I'm over it. No offense to anyone who's been sick with it. I literally do not know one person who's had it. We live in a county where it's not real prevalent. So to me, it's just like, okay, could we just all move on now? All right, so anyway, I didn't mean to get into that. But anyway, that's why I put the dentist appointment off. It's not that I don't want to go get the thing done, because it's something I've been waiting on for a year to get it finished. I just didn't want to deal with all this, answering the questions, wearing the mask. You got to wait in the car. Be sure and run your air, because we're going to take your temperature. It's like, well, obviously it's Memphis. I'm not going to sit out there in the car in the heat. I mean, who would be this stupid? It's just, anyway, they sent us a long email. I'd already read the email. It went on and on and on and on and on about the rules. I mean, I don't have any other doctor that does this. I'm not trying to be ugly. There is no other doctor I deal with that does any of this, okay? It's just like overkill, okay? I know, I guess the dentists are just very uptight, but I don't have any doctors that do this. Okay, Friday, car and bag. That's today, actually, Friday. Clean out your car. I have a car and a truck, so I need to look at both of those. Your purse, your gym bag, your swim bag, your diaper bag, your kids' backpacks, whatever your kids, maybe kids go to see grandma, whatever, they've got a bag, all that stuff. This is a great day to clean all that out. If all that stuff is clean, maybe you need to wash your car. Maybe you need to fill the car up with gas. I pretty much tend to fill mine up pretty regularly. I don't necessarily do it on a Friday, but it's not convenient for me on a Friday. But anyway, okay, weekend, she's got 2 spaces. So you've got your Saturday and your Sunday that you can put in there reminders if you need to remind yourself about doctor's appointments or making appointments or calling somebody or whatever. You know, you can put your reminders, or something you need to clean or fix, put that in here. The menu, I do my menu planning over here. I usually list out 4 to 5 things, and my menus are all very simple. I don't do anything difficult. I use my Instant Pot. I haven't been using the crock pot since I got the Instant Pot, but you know, I could. I make an easy lasagna. I make very easy chili. There's very easy, simple things that we just do over and over. We don't think hard about the meal planning. On Friday nights, we do pizza every week, and it's a frozen organic pizza. It's not, I don't make it. I don't deal with it. I cut up some ham and put on top of it because it's a cheese pizza, because that's all I can really find that's organic. Okay, and it's from Aldi. I love Aldi, y'all. If you like organic and non-GMO, Aldi's got some great Aldi brands, organic, non-GMO foods. Yummy. Okay, and I'm sorry I went off on the other thing before. I know some of you know people who've been very, very sick. I'm not trying to minimize an illness, not at all. I just think we've gone so overboard with, you know, have you had a fever? Have you been sick? Have you had a snot? Have you sneezed? Have you coughed? I mean, good grief, it's sinus allergy pollen season for many, many, many of us. I have chronic sinus. Oh, heavens no, I haven't sneezed all year. I mean, come on. It's just, it ain't the only sickness out there. That's all I'm telling you. So anyway, I didn't mean to get off on it, and I'm sorry if please don't be offended. I just am so tired of it. Okay, zone cleaning. This is where I wanted to focus. So bedroom zone cleaning, I have to read this, I'm sorry. Dust, sills, and doors. I already did this I think I worked on this I combined my weekly home blessing and my zone cleaning. And that way I just do the extra items while I'm in the zone. Okay, so I do the weekly home blessing and then add whatever zone into that. So while I was in there doing the weekly home blessing, I did the doors and the sills. I dusted the lamps. I do that every week pretty much. We don't have a bookcase in there, so I did not straighten the bookcase. I do not have toys in there, so I did not sort and purge toys. But those, if you had kids, you would have that. Clean the furniture. I just dusted. I didn't, quote, clean anything. If you need to clean something, you need something like lemon oil. Don't use Pledge. It is so bad. Those kind of things, it's just full of chemicals. It's not good for your furniture. You need a good quality lemon oil. They sell that, I mean, Walmart has it. I mean, they may not anymore because, you know, shelves have been cleared or whatever, but in the old days, when things were normal, Walmart had regular, it was Old English is a good brand. That's what I use. And I'm not allergic to that one. Some of them, the smells just about kill me. That one doesn't bother me. Okay, straighten drawers. I don't really have a whole lot of drawer stuff going on in my bedroom. Spencer's clothes are in there, and that's his. I don't deal with his. I did ask him, you know, I could barely shut his drawers. I said, is there anything in here you can throw away or purge or give it away? You got millions of socks. Can some of this go? Straighten closet. So you can also work on your master closet or the kids' closet if you're in the kids' bedrooms. Sort your clothes. You can declutter your clothes. You can give away your clothes. We're now opening up in most states. I think most places you can go and give your clothes away, or you can stick them on the curb with the thing, free clothing, you know, in a bag if it's not pouring down rain, which here we're having rain again at some point. Windows. I showed yesterday my favorite cleaning tools and cleaning supplies, and I showed you how I clean my windows. I use these FlyLady cloths. It's a microfiber cloth. You could use a different brand. It doesn't have to be that one. You dampen it. Now, I will say hers are good for this. I don't use other brands, so I don't know if those work as well. But the FlyLady one, you just dampen it, and you just wipe. You want to, like, go in the same direction. You don't want to go all like this. It'll be all smeary this way. You want to or, okay, you got to be really careful with that, or it's all going to be smeary. You don't want to just, like, I've talked to people who said, oh, I just clean like that. No, that's going to be smeary. Also, Windex, I don't care what they say, it smears and streaks everywhere. I don't know how they can get away with saying streak free. Windex is the most streaking stuff I've ever used. I hate it. If you like it, use it. I do not care for it, and it stinks. I don't have any Windex in this house. I don't think. If I do, it's a mistake. It's from a long time ago. I don't think I have any. I do not like it. It used to have ammonia in it, which actually ammonia is okay. It kills germs. These days they're making it without. I just don't like Windex. I just use plain water on those cloths. I just barely dampen it, wipe it down. And then you can turn it over, dampen it on the other side, wipe the next thing. You don't have to, you don't want it sopping wet, because then you're going to need one to dry it. That's how FlyLady says. She says you have a wet one and a dry one. I don't do that. If you'll just barely dampen it, just enough to wipe the window down, you won't need two. There's no reason to go over it twice. Just you're done, okay? Or whichever direction you want to go. But don't, we're not going to do this. We're not going to this. We're just going to very carefully, okay? And you'll be finished, and your windows will look great until your little dog or little cat nose gets back on it. Or little children's fingerprints. Or maybe husband touches, you know. Sometimes some of us have husbands whose hands are everywhere. Mine's not really one of those, but some people do. Okay, baseboards. If you will do your baseboards pretty often, they're never really going to be dirty, okay? I'll just give you a hint. I can just seriously run around, baseboards, done. You can also get one of those things on a pole and go around and do the upper. Diana in Denmark does that. She goes top to bottom in her rooms, and she can do her room in 15 minutes and then run the vacuum separate. And that is a great way to clean. You just, up around the ceilings, do all your windows. This is just your one time in your zone. You don't do the whole, it's not your whole house, but every week in the zone. Baseboards, dust furniture, and then floors. Now, obviously she has to vacuum separately, but she can do most of that other in 15 minutes. And if you get your house, you don't have to be a minimalist, but if you will organize enough and get rid of enough stuff, you can run around and do these zones in 15 minutes and then vacuum, and that might be another 15. Seriously, if I can do it, I'm slow. If I can do it, you can do it. Okay. Vacuum and mop. And I've talked about before, we have hardwood floors. I do not spend a lot of time mopping. I almost never mop my hardwood floors. I don't think it's good for them, just being honest. I know a lot of people do that. I do not. I would do it for other people at their houses. I do what they request for me to do. At my house, we do not do that. Not saying you shouldn't, not saying you should or shouldn't. You decide. Now, I want to show you this one thing. I have my morning routine like this in this plastic, and then I've got dry erase markers, and you can see I've marked pretty much everything off. I come in here in the morning and I start marking things off, and it's real simple things. Feed the pets. Now obviously we know I have to feed the pets, but before I can mark this off, I have to make sure the front porch pets have been fed, because it's easy to forget those, and a lot of times Spencer will do it. And if I don't have it written down, then I won't make sure it's been done. So, some days he does it, some days he doesn't. And so if I get up first, then I just go ahead and do it. Turn lights off. Those are the outdoor lights. That's a very simple thing. I've got my Bible reading on here. I also do a Bible podcast. So it's reading or a podcast or devotional, whatever. Vitamins. I've got some nasal stuff because I've got chronic sinus. See, these are all very, very simple things, but they need to be done. It needs to be done before I leave the house. Dress to shoes. That's a big FlyLady thing. Dress to shoes. I've got exercise on here. I'm off my exercise, y'all. It's really bad. I'm not completely off, but I'm walking the dog usually twice a day. So it's not that I don't do any, but I'm not doing my actual cardio exercise. He does drag me around town. I don't know if that counts. Makeup, hair. I pretty much only do that if I leave the house. Some people feel better if they go ahead and do it. I just throw mine up in a ponytail or whatever. I don't really care. I'm not a big makeup person. Litter boxes, that has got to be done before I leave this house. Eat, that might seem simple, but I write it down just so I can mark it off. Heat off, that's for the winter, so obviously that's, we don't have any heat right now. I put lunch on here. When I'm at home, sometimes I literally don't even think about eating. It's crazy. I'll eat breakfast, but I don't necessarily think about lunch, so I have that written down, so I will do it. And then I've got apple cider vinegar. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. So that's kind of just a good thing to do. And then my nighttime routine is very long. A lot of people's routine is very short. Mine is long. I have to do all this before I go to bed. And I'm not even going to go through it all because we've already been talking for 20 minutes. But anyway, both of these are just in the wipe-off plastic. This happens to be a notebook. So I have several pieces of paper in here I can switch out and, mark off that way if I want to. My voice got so dry. I meant to get some water before I started. All right, I hope that makes sense. I'm sorry I'm so slow with this, but you can pick up anytime. You can do zone 4 without me. You don't need me. Or you can do zone 4. You can start Monday and do zone 4. And I don't remember next week. It's the 5th week, but it's a short week. It's only going to be 2 days if you count Monday. It's Sunday, it'd be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That'd be 3 days. But if you start on Monday, which a lot of people do, as far as the cleaning, then it's just 2 days that week. And so I don't really remember what she does on the 5th week, but it'll only just be the first half, and then she'll go into zone 1, if that makes sense. So we'll figure that out when I download Steph's form. All right. Thanks for listening. I hope everything's going well. If you have any questions, any comments, please do not hesitate to comment, ask me anything. Tell me how you do things. You may have a better system, and I would love to hear about it. Love you guys. Have a great weekend. God bless.